In simple terms, an agreement means a meeting of the minds. Everyone has the same understanding about something and agrees to it fully without any reservations or hesitation. Although agreements do not have to be in writing to be legally binding, it is a good idea and practice to have a written and signed record of what has been agreed to. This is because it is easier to prove something that has been written down if an issue arises in the future. Besides, having something in writing ensures that everyone is on the same page. Legally binding means everyone must obey the terms written in the agreement and fulfill what they have agreed to. Failure to do so has legal consequences. If there is agreement, everyone is usually happy. A legally binding agreement is also known as a contract. An employment contract is a legally binding agreement between an employee and employer. It normally includes what the employer expects from the employee and what the employee can expect from the employer. However, not every employee will be asked to sign an employment contract, and not every company uses them. But employment contracts are useful because they spell out what is expected in writing, and they can be used to prove those expectations more easily if a conflict arises. A rental agreement is a contract between a landlord and tenant, whereby a landlord gives the tenant the right to occupy the residential premises. A rental agreement can be written, verbal or implied. But since it is the most important part of a landlord and tenant relationship, it should be in writing. A rental agreement can be for a fixed period of time, a month-to-month period, or a week-to-week period. It should be clear to the landlord and tenant, upon entering into a rental agreement, what services and equipment are included with the rent. A mortgage is a loan in which property or real estate is used as security. Once approved, the borrower enters into an agreement with the lender, which requires the borrower to make payments towards the loan until it is paid in full. Mortgage loan agreements are usually entered into by people who wish to buy a house or other property from a seller but don't have enough cash on hand to pay upfront. However, sometimes people who own homes use their houses as security to get mortgage loans for financing different things. Auto insurance is a contract between a vehicle owner and/or driver and an insurance company. In exchange for a specified payment to the insurance company, the insurance company agrees to cover losses, liabilities, and expenses resulting from a motor accident or theft as agreed upon. Examples include some of the following: damage to a car after an accident or other property like a fence, building, or utility pole. Liability, which means legal responsibility to others for damage to their cars or bodily injury if you are in the wrong. Bodily injury liability covers costs associated with injuries or death that you or another driver causes while driving your car. Medical expenses. Health insurance is a type of insurance coverage that pays for medical and surgical expenses incurred by the insured. A life insurance policy is a contract in which an insurance company guarantees payment of a death benefit to named beneficiaries upon the death of the person that was insured. The purpose of life insurance is to provide financial protection to surviving dependents after the death of the person who was insured. In conclusion, there are many types of legal documents, but the most important thing is to review all of them thoroughly and understand them fully before accepting the terms in the documents. Take all the time you need to review documents and understand all the implications of accepting them before making a decision whether to accept them, reject them, or modify them first. Above all, you should never ever let anyone rush or intimidate you into accepting a document you have reservations or hesitations about. The most common way to accept a document is through a signature, which is taken to mean that there is clear acceptance. It does not matter whether you have read the document or not. If you sign it, it is assumed that you have read, understood, and accepted the terms. That said, a written agreement that is not signed might still be legally binding if everyone has clearly accepted the terms through their conduct. Finally, to avoid misunderstandings, penalties, and legal consequences, it is very important for everyone to fully understand the terms written in any document or agreement. This is because penalties can be costly and life-altering. They can cause a lot of suffering, including loss of employment, becoming homeless, loss of a house you worked so hard to buy, medical complications, health problems, pain and suffering. For more in-depth information and legal advice, please consult very extensively. Be smart. Learn valuable lessons from a humble insect. Bees are assigned specific roles in the hive, and they are very thorough in carrying out these roles. If we can all emulate their thoroughness, we will minimize and even eliminate legal consequences resulting from not paying attention to all the details.